we're back for a second game, and we're going to be watching the doubles. Ariel and Nicola taking part from our first game, as well as Lena and Clara. So, Ariel to serve.
Yeah, that was great play from Lena and Nicola, especially the lob.
Yeah, I mean, doubles is a completely different game to singles, isn't it?
But I do love it. And
tram lines are in.
Oh, it's just wonderful. It's wonderful news, really.
Doubles.
And that lob really set them up. I mean, they've fairly had a break since the singles, so maybe tiredness will play a factor. Was that in?
Yeah, looks in.
Can see. Oh, what a great winner.
I mean, what is the thing about doubles? What makes doubles so different from singles?
That's an essay. that's a long essay.
It's like,
I couldn't answer that. It's a lot faster. Yeah, let's start with that first. That was another great serve from Ariel. Exploiting Nicola's weaker side backhand. I mean, it's the fact that you have to work in it as a team, whereas, tennis is such a gladiator sport, whereas this is very different. Oh. Yeah, great finish.
Great return from Nicola.
Yeah, a bit of a battle at the net with Clara and Nicola.
Ariel managing to finish the point off and taking the game point.
Is that 30 all?
I think it's 40-15.
40-15. I mean, unfortunately, that is what you have to do in doubles.
Oh, maybe it was 30 all.
40-30 now?
Yeah, I think I
love it.
Had the score wrong.
Oh, that's unlucky. I think lack of communication on both parts. Both teams, maybe.
Seemed like the ball sort of span away from Nicola in the air. She seemed like
she had... It's just one of those things. Maybe we talked about it earlier. Some shots can be very deceiving when you can't tell what type of spin is on them.
Yeah.
Also, maybe unsure as to whose shot it was, maybe.
Yeah. I guess that's another thing. Communication is
communication
so important in doubles.
Yeah, because if you're just in singles, it's only you that you need to worry about, and now all of a sudden you've got a second person
who might have a better shot, have a better line on the ball. But
I mean, really, I think these teams are just thinking about what the other's weaknesses are, and they're just trying to get into it. I'm not sure tactics are huge at the moment. That was a great volley. Right at Clara's feet. Pretty impossible to scoop up from there.
If one person commits to it, the second person almost backs off, and if they miss, then you haven't really got a hope of getting it back over the net.
Oh, that's unlucky.
Lucky, very good rally though.
Yeah, very entertaining rally. Great second serve.
Great second
Another
serve.
second serve. We've seen a few of those earlier, and it's back out again.
I mean, yeah, you're saying that. Like, these Ariel and Nicola have played each other. You just saw that. So, it'll be interesting to see what the rematch will bring. And again, the double fault coming back out.
Battle with that serve.
That's more like it, though.
See, sometimes it's either out or because of her height, I think she's got a lot more weight behind the ball. So with that second serve getting in, it's immediately putting pressure.
Yeah. It's very Jekyll and Hyde at the moment. It's
very Jekyll and Hyde. So 1-1. That was a hard, sort of in between shot. It's either a drive volley or a smash. Bit of an awkward one. $15 love to the Warwick firsts.
And that makes it 30 love.
Yes, slightly mistimed, I think, by Oxford. Oh, did she get any racket on that?
I don't think
she did.
Saw anything.
Okay, 30-15 then.
I mean, it really, really fizzed at Ariel.
Yeah, maybe Lena is struggling with the return on that side. I think that's the second missed one in this game.
And that makes it 40 love?
40-15?
40-15. Oh, regardless of what it is.
It's game. Yeah. It's game to Warwick firsts against Oxford seconds. Maybe Warwick being slightly more consistent. Less unforced errors.
Making it 2-1. Yeah. I mean, it's a good start to the game so far, very fast-paced, as you'd expect from a doubles game.
A lot of net action too, which is exciting.
I mean, what's it like being at the net and having a ball come at you that quickly?
It's definitely reaction speeds will play a huge part at the moment. Got to be very alert, otherwise you're going to get one to the face.
Yes, is it just more reactions as opposed to being able to place a shot, just getting your racket behind it?
I think position, where you're positioned on the court, is fundamental. Because if you position yourself correctly, you'll be close to the ball and be able to react and place it where you want to. Whereas if you're further away, you're going to probably frame it. So it's a mixture of the factors, really. Whereas if you're too close to the ball,
no time to react.
It's a hard balance to find to strike. Yeah, that was perfect. I think Ariel kept it deep and set up the opportunity for Clara to put that volley away.
Can you slice in doubles? Because surely if you're lofting the ball up, it makes it very easy for the person at the net to return
I guess
quickly.
It depends how good your slice is. If it's low and fast, it's going to be hard to return. I think if you get a good slice lob, that works. But if it's sort of in no man's land, if it's landing just past the service box, it's a bit... Ariel coming out on top in that rally.
I mean, and that could favour Warwick, because obviously, as we saw in the last game, Ariel prefers that quick game as opposed to
Bit of the slower.
Yeah.
She does favour the high service. Warwick are keeping the pressure on, and Oxford are starting to feeling it.
Yeah, cross court, baseline to baseline there. So it's almost like waiting to see who would make that mistake.
Is that 3-1 to Warwick?
Yes. We'll try
3-1.
We'll try and keep track of the score more, but I mean the tennis are just compelling so far.
Oh, that's fantastic play from Oxford seconds.
And they need to bounce back. They'll break down, and on a point like that.
This is a great response if they can keep this level up. That was a perfect serve down the tee. The slice just wasn't enough to get it over the net.
And again, Ariel with that serving seems to be our strong suit at the moment.
Yeah, that change of pace once again. Slightly throwing Ariel off potentially.
Does that makes it 30-all?
Yes. Says confidently. I think they're struggling to return Ariel's serve. It's
Obviously,
got a lot of pace behind it, a lot of topspin.
I mean, each person only serves one of every four service of every 4 games, so you've really got to make it count. And Warwick seem to be able to do that at the moment.
Another second serve ace out wide, completely out of Lena's reach.
Yeah, and Warwick take a 4-1 lead into the first set. Do you think we are seeing some of the same patterns that we saw in the singles game, especially between Clara and Ariel?
Yeah, I mean, we didn't really watch Lena and Clara, but from what we've seen from Ariel and Nicola, it's pretty much the same. That serve, and we've seen Nicola respond with the slice again. We'll just have to see how the game pans out and what impact Clara and Lena have. Maybe Nicola should opt for the slice a bit more, since Ariel's return of serve is vicious, as you said earlier. Good reactions from Ariel.
Yeah.
It's a lot harder than it looks to do that. That makes it love 40.
Love 40, quick. I mean, that's something we were saying in the singles game, especially when Nicola's on serve, she wants to get it done quickly, and maybe that's what's costing her the points at the moment.
Yeah, I think that's game. 5-1.
5-1.
It was good to see how Clara was capitalising on that second serve, really coming forward to put the pressure on Nicola, and she felt the pressure and pushed it long. So Warwick seemed to be doing all the right things.
Well, there was so many different strategies in doubles. You can send two back, send two to the net, one on one side, one on the other.
So many formations. Oh, that's unlucky.
See what she was doing, trying to place the ball beyond Lena, but wasn't able to manage it.
Certainly the right thing to do, I think.
Sometimes it just doesn't pay off.
And Lena a bit more consistent in that point, as we saw earlier on Clara's serve. She was less consistent. 15? No, love 30.
Love 30.
Love 30.
She seemed in two minds there, like play the slow one and play the fast one, but then sort of hooked up a fast one and sent it long.
15-30.
Unlucky.
Just long, just. That was a well-fought cross-court rally.
And Oxford with 2 great points, chance to break back for them in the first set.
That shot from Clara was clever, had the backspin on it, very deceiving, and low to Nicola's feet.
And she sort of had to do that because without that, quite an easy return.
Yeah, great shot down the line from Lena.
And they managed to break back, making it 5-2. Well,
Yep.
Yeah.
5-2 to Warwick first.
There's a lot of anachronisms when it's like, especially with serving, you swap them around.
Yeah.
Left, right, up, down.
It's interesting how Warwick have the advantage. With the advantage of home, they have their coach on court to speak to and talk tactics with. Whereas I don't think the Oxfords were able to bring a coach to this away match for them. I'm sure this is very reassuring. For me, it makes quite a big difference to have a coach. Very reassuring.
You can see that in professional tennis. Like, it's a bit of a difference. Obviously, that ATP, WTA, they're not allowed to confer with their coach.
You know, if you get too much in your own head, a coach can really help you reset.
Yeah.
Oh, that shot has worked for Lena before, but not this time. Maybe too eager.
Just unable to get her racket around it. So weird. That was a
strange
shot,
point.
It was like,
Maybe I saw Nicola trying to come across. Maybe that put off Warwick. So 15 all.
And again, if it's coming straight at you, it's very difficult to.
Bit of an awkward volley. It wasn't high, but it wasn't low, and it was to the body.
Yeah, I mean, it was just right close beside you, and then where do you put your racket to get it back?
Yep, just wide.
A lot of high bounces there.
Oxford on top of that long rally.
Again, one of those ones where it's just the first person to make a mistake.
Oh, that's unlucky from Nicola. She had the space, she had the opportunity, but just pushed it long.
But great return from Clara, especially as the ball was so low down. You've got to get your racket under it, but not too under it. It sends it out.
40-30 to Oxford seconds. Oh, that's a fantastic point. Well
Great
fought.
rally.
And that's the game for Oxford. 5-3.
Sort of had everything there. We had the net play in the middle, long balls at the start and the end, and then Nicola able to win the point.
Could have gone either way, really. It's what we love to see in doubles.
Yeah. And it gives Oxford that momentum, because now they've won 2 games in a row.
2 games, yeah.
Might even be able to get.
Although they've got Ariel's serve to face. Will be interesting.
And again, Ariel's coming out on top.
I do think that slice is a good option, but it's so hard to adjust the pace, to cushion it. Oxford don't have a response.
You just have to say that if there is one thing in this game that is really performing at the moment, it's Ariel's serve.
30 love. I think it's also the mentality they know when they're facing Ariel's serve, it's going to be a battle, which probably doesn't help.
And her serving's led to 3 set points for Warwick. And they take the set.
Perfect game to finish it off. It's so good to have that consistency from Ariel, her serve. They can really rely on it.
Just four serves,
Perfect.
4 returns out. That's all you need, really. And, I mean, we are seeing some of the same, story beats that we saw in the singles game, especially with, as we've been saying, a lot of Ariel's serve.
Yeah.
Just being able to win that point, and then just a lot of variety in doubles. We've obviously got the net play, got the long cross-court rallies.
It's just whether Oxford decide that's a game they can't get, or can they try and change it up. We've seen them trying to change it up, but it just hasn't worked.
I mean, has there been something that you'd say like Oxford has been better at?
I noticed Lena was being more attacking, which I think works in their favour, definitely. Is more wanting to come forward, which I think put Warwick under pressure. I noticed Nicola was being more active at the net as well. But they couldn't do that against Ariel's serve.
Yeah. But obviously, now set down, they've got to attack it now as we go into the second set.
Love 15. Mistimed that one.
If Nicola can't make her first serve, but when she makes that second serve, it does seem to be...
It does seem to kick a bit. Yeah, it's a great reaction from Clara. Saw that volley come, just put it in the space behind Lena.
Maybe not. It seemed Lena was probably maybe rushing a bit to get that shot in at the front. Maybe it would have been better to leave it for Nicola.
I think that's 15-40.
15-40. And 2 break points for Warwick right at the start. They take
In the second set.
Take the first opportunity and already a break up. Almost like the opposite of what we saw in the second set in the double or singles game.
I think Oxford were trying to be more on the offensive and hit the ball harder, but just making more errors.
Yeah, that is a problem with offensive play. You can go on the attack, but you can tend to rush it, and you got to find that fine line where you're attacking, but it's
getting
not.
it in.
Yeah. It doesn't matter how quick or slow the shot is taken. If it's in, and it's a good shot. It'll be the point.
Ariel back on serve. 1-love up.
Right. How long will this last?
Oh, that was great play from Nicola. She really changed up the pace Ariel served with the lob, slice lob, put pressure on Ariel's backhand.
Yeah, and just the amount of control to come to the net, get a ball coming back at you that quickly and then placing it exactly where it needs to go.
Yeah, completely faultless from Nicola. Yeah, I can see Helena trying to do the same thing, trying to block it almost, trying to get it high above Clara, the Warwick player.
You almost don't have to move the racket. You can just put it there, and the speed will send it back over the net.
You could use her speed. That's the thing. Oh, and that's a
unless she slices it like that.
Unreturnable serve. Can't get the slice to that one. Is that 50-50?
Yeah, she's got that variety. She can put down the serves quickly, but then when they're almost like getting to expect it, put in that serve that drifts out or drifts in. and winning the point.
Ariel just pushes it wide.
It's good running. I mean, sometimes you just don't expect a ball to come back at you. You feel like you've done such a good shot, and then it comes back, and you're not almost unprepared.
Maybe Nicola should have attacked that one a bit more.
I mean,
too used to the slice potentially.
Maybe she might have been thinking it would be going to Ariel, but then Clara returns it, and suddenly you're coming forward to the net with a ball already coming back at you.
That's a great point though.
And that makes it 40-30.
That was a great angle from Lena. Forced Ariel to go down the line, but that gap is so small. You've got the volleyer right there on top of it, forcing her to push it wide. That's... Oh, now they've got a deuce. First deuce of the match.
I think you're anticipating. I know the score's a bit better than I
think it might be the first deuce of the match, and they've chosen, interestingly, for Lena to return the serve. As the returners can choose the side in a deuce in doubles. Oh, that's a fantastic shot from Ariel down the line.
I mean, she was really attacking that point.
She took the gamble and it paid off, because either way, whoever won that point was going to take the game. So that's 2-love to Warwick first.
Is there no advantages in doubles?
Not in this doubles that we're playing today. So short, sudden death deuce is what it's called. Yeah, it did look slightly long from this angle. Great to see Clara and Nicola battling it out in the middle of that point. Volley to volley. Potentially a right decision to come across there.
Yeah.
Hard one to get when it's at the feet.
Bit of an unforced error there. So you would expect that to be returned, but just sometimes.
The pressure of having to switch, not switch, maybe rushing, affected that shot. That's great rallying from the Warwick firsts. Staying consistent. Just waiting for the error to come. Just got to keep it cross court and away from the volleyer, then that's all you have to do. So when the volleyer gets involved, that's where trouble starts. Oh, couldn't quite time that half volley. Incredibly awkward, that one.
And Warwick, yeah, another game. 3-0 up now. 3-love up, sorry. Got them too football orientated.
It's good for Warwick first that they were able to maintain their momentum from the first set, whereas then we saw in the singles match, the momentum was a stark change almost.
I mean, what we've had here is sort of like the momentum sort of stalled for both teams at the end of the first set, but Warwick have just come out fighting in this second one, and now they're 2 breaks up.
Clara to serve.
Ooh.
Oh, fantastic reaction from Lena there. Ariel's volley. I thought that was it,
Yeah.
but didn't see that one coming back.
I mean, that is one of those points that you just don't think is going to come back, but then does. Oxford seem quite happy about that as well.
Oxford almost surprised themselves. What a captivating rally that was.
Almost seems that Warwick, or Clara especially, was trying to use like Lena's height against her, just trying to get those bounces in. Yeah, Lena was almost trying to do the same thing as well. It was just getting higher and higher.
So Lena had to hit the back of the fence to get it back. A lot of moon balls. Perfect smash from Ariel. Getting the job done.
I mean, it was just hovering up in the air.
Taking it early, taking time away from them to react. I don't think Nicola had time to really run away from that one.
And giving Warwick back the lead in the game, 30-15.
It's a great serve out wide to Lena's backhand. Unable to return it. (40-15).
Brilliant serve there. Right in the corner.
Yeah, we saw that one earlier and Lena returned it, but this time I think Ariel punched it more. Took away even more time. That makes it
4-love. Warwick really taking a commanding lead on what is looking like their way to victory. This game is probably the crucial one. You don't want to give Warwick that opportunity to get up to 5, because then just
exactly
a few mistakes.
They can get this game. They could potentially save it. It's never over until it's over.
again.
Bit of a rogue return.
Yeah.
We don't see that often.
I mean, again, the second serve off Nicola, even if she can't get the first serve in, the second serve is still proving a threat.
It's fantastic movement from Ariel. Once get out their feet, and what can you do?
Yeah.
I think the unforced errors potentially being the reason they've gone 4-love down. Oh, what a great point that was.
Can't really criticise Nicola there, but just a very difficult height. Maybe placement on the court.
Yeah, she managed. The first one was great. The second one came a bit faster, I think.
Going for that slower serve on the first one. Almost like, I guess Ariel's probably expecting a quick one, and then when you don't get it, you've got to adjust.
It's hard to time
quickly.
it, and Nicola came forward, also putting the pressure on, which Ariel would have seen. I think Ariel would have noticed out the corner of her eye that Nicola was coming forward. Potentially feeling the nerves on that serve, taking the tempo off that noticeably.
And that cost them the game.
They're 5-love down now.
5-love down. And
Warwick first looked very happy.
So would you say it has just been the unforced errors that have cost Oxford?
Yeah, I would say that the Oxford seconds have been very active at the net. They've come across trying to take the opportunities. So I wouldn't say it's lack of, net play. So yeah, maybe the first serve percentage.
I think I remember watching the US Open, and I think that's Martina Navratilova said you want as many winners as unforced errors, and I don't think that Oxford have managed that at the moment. Both coming in, both attacking there.
Yeah, it's perfect doubles play.
I mean,
she set herself up again with that great lob. It's perfectly placed. And with that height as well, it's hard for them to lob back.
And when they both come in, the gaps just shrink, don't they? It becomes much more difficult to place the ball. Obviously, if you can get it, then it's a guaranteed point. But if you can't, then you're on the back foot.
Oh, and that's love 30 on Ariel's serve.
Probably a bit of a mistake there from Clara going for that shot when maybe Ariel was better placed, but
it's hard to tell.
Yeah, in those situations, it's just reactions and instinctive.
Unforced error from Clara there at the net.
Something we're not used to seeing. 3 break points in Ariel's serve.
Oh, and Oxford have taken that point and the game.
Ariel all over the court there.
They were
Back
switching.
and forth.
Wow. And that's why we love doubles.
But Oxford getting their first game of the set.
What a point to do it on.
Yeah. I mean, what a game to do it on as well. If they hadn't won that, they would have lost.
That was crucial, especially on Ariel's serve.
Yeah. After we've seen.
Now they've got 3 games to play with. Now Lena to serve. 5-1. Oh, that's unlucky.
Unlucky.
Hit well through it, actually.
And you can see what she was going for just over the net, dropping just down within the tram lines, but wasn't to be. That's love 15. Yeah, and that's Ariel's return of serve. It's too good. 15-30. Oh, and Clara's done the same thing. Tried to go for that topspin angle, which is very effective in doubles, trying to use the tram lines, but not quite. You can really see on Lena's second serve, she's just stepping into it, just making sure it goes over the net. And then obviously people can make mistakes later on in the point, making it 30 all. Another deep, unplayable, unreturnable return from Ariel. Just off the frame of the racket and leading to the first match point. Match point to Warwick first. That should be the game. To Warwick first. Almost you don't want to have it on a call because but nothing you can do, and to be honest, Warwick first definitely the better team, and that's been reflected in the scoreline. Yeah, completely agree with that. Both were great at the net, but Warwick first able to reduce their unforced errors and win the big points when they most mattered. Yeah, I mean, that's the thing in tennis. If you can very easily lose a game if you don't get you can lose the game. You can lose. That's the thing in tennis. You can very easily lose the game if your opponent is just getting those winners and not getting those unforced errors. And if you're putting in the unforced errors, you're losing the points as opposed to winning them. And ultimately those things add up. Ultimately, the most consistent team came out on top. Well, that has been all the tennis coverage for us today. Thank you for watching. Thank you for listening. And I hope you can join us in the next few weeks. I think next week we'll be covering badminton. So make sure to stick around for that.
Across campus, online and on 1251 AM. This is your student radio station.